Check out the action on the American Angler as the nighttime bluefin tuna bite in Southern California has hit its apex. It is tremendous fishing right now on 50 to 200 plus pound bluefin tuna. Guys are fishing with nothing lighter than 100 to 130 pound tests and jigs that are about 300 to 400 grams. Let's switch over to the Royal Star. What a night they had last night with 64 bluefin, 50 to 200 pounds. Check out the size of this fish that this lucky angler caught. Southern California. Wow.
Why?
This angler on board the Thunderbird out of Davies Locker in Newport Beach, California, was fortunate enough to hook a nice big yellowtail, but unlucky enough to have a 500-pound sea lion grab it. Who wins?
Oh, he dropped it. Wind it, wind it. He dropped it.
And the crowd cheers as he wrestles that yellowtail away from that giant sea lion. Hey everybody, Phil Friedman here from Friedman Adventures, and I've got great news for you. Pat Whitaker and the Manana will be east of Avalon at Catalina Island, down there on the east end, selling live bait this weekend. This weekend, Pat Whitaker on the Manana. You see his phone number. You see that you can call him on Channel 11. Mention Friedman Adventures and you'll get a discount, and you'll have all your bait needs taken care of at Catalina Island. This is just fantastic. Live bait, Catalina Island, for you private boaters. Make sure you visit Pat this weekend.
Stay tuned. You're watching Friedman Adventures. Mwah.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It is, well, I still say it's a gorgeous day. I know it's foggy. The sun's trying to poke through the clouds here in Southern California. It's a little bit dreary, I guess you could say, but the glass is always half full for me. It's beautiful. We're so blessed to be here on the beach with you all this morning. And man, do we have some fishing for you. Of course, you saw the lead in, the shorts that we've already put up, American Angler, Royal Star, and many other boats. Conked them last night. At night, it was tremendous. Nighttime bluefin tuna fishing for many of the boats. Few missed. Most guys were into some really excellent fish, and there's some big ones lurking around now. I mean, fish to over 200 pounds, so it's really incredible. Also, we've got some great yellowtail action already taking place at San Clemente Island here on this beautiful Friday morning. It is, of course, July the 14th, and things are rocking at Clemente, where the Freedom is moving up toward 30 yellows already here this morning. We saw them take off last night as we did a great Danny Cadota live show last night, over 3 hours, and then at the end we went out and we watched the Freedom and the Pride leave. You got to go back and watch that. That was a fun show and a lot of great stuff going on. Of course, some great barracuda fishing, Channel Islands with bluefin tuna. You know what time it is. Even though I forgot my coffee cup, it's time for the morning briefing. All right, this is the time when I normally take a sip of coffee, but I blew it this morning. Sorry about that, everybody. I'll have that cup of coffee here tomorrow morning for sure. It is great to be with you all. Hit that like button. Share these videos if you are enjoying them. Hit that bell and you'll be notified when there's new content. And please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. You just go to our YouTube, well, you're here on our YouTube channel, and subscribe. That means a lot to us. All the likes mean a lot to us. And right down there, you can leave a comment about anything you like here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. It is great to be with you all. As you saw also rolling in, if you're going to be fishing Catalina Island this weekend, down east of Avalon, Pat Whitaker and the Manana will be providing bait for you all. His number, in case you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, is 541-291-1347. You'll be able to get a hold of Pat. Call him now if you like and line things up. Find out exactly where he's going to be, what kind of bait he's going to have. I defer you to call Pat. Also, August the 15th, we're on board the Horizon for a day-and-a-half trip out of H&M Landing in San Diego. That place is biting so good right now. Out of San Diego, there's tremendous bluefin tuna fishing, and we surmise by August the 15th, there'll be yellowfin tuna, maybe even Dorado crawling all over. We know that yellowfin is moving up the Baja coast from reports we're getting from lift pole commercial guys down there around Uncle Sam Bank, several hundred miles down the Baja coast, and yellowfin tuna stretching all the way up to San Clemente Island. In the colder water up here, there's less yellowfin tuna. In the warmer water, you're seeing more yellowfin tuna. So when that El Nino finally kicks into gear, that YFT should move right up here along with some flatheads and a lot more. Really an exciting season we are looking at. All right, my friends, let's get into it with you. Royal Star last night, tremendous night bite, 64 bluefin tuna, 50 to 200 pound fish. It doesn't get much better. American angler with a huge night also. Several of those long range boats we like to call the Cadillacs were all over the BFT last night. Several other guys also got tremendous whack in on it. You do not, I will tell you, I wouldn't fish any less than 130 pound Spectra. Probably get away with 100. And jigs, it's been mostly the 300 gram jigs, 350, 400. If you get wind and current, it's been lovely weather actually, but if you do get wind and current, you're going to want a little bit heavier jig. So bring that variety of whatever jig you like. Daiwa SK jigs, those knife jigs. I know you have your favorite, and it seems to me like just about anything you get in front of their nose will work. So what I said was anything you get in front of their nose. And what I mean by that is when the guy upstairs there, the captain, says drop to 300 feet, you've got to know that your jig is at least down to 300. You do that with a metered line, colored line that changes colors every 100 feet, and you have to be vertical, straight up and down. If your line's out, who knows what depth you're at. So try to be vertical, use a heavy enough jig to get down, and make sure you are at the appropriate depth. In fact, if he says 300, drop to 350, and then wind it up. Don't have to wind it all the way back to the surface, just wind it up and drop it down again. Tremendous fishing going on, no question about it. Now there is still some really good daytime fishing going on bluefin tuna. There's a couple of boats in on it right now as we speak. It's mostly like that, 15 to 20 pound bluefin tuna. Fluorocarbon is your best friend in this kind of a bite, and also a smaller hook like a number 2 hook. We like Opsin fluorocarbon, www.opsinusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. You'll get a hug and a kiss from owner Greg Brown, and also a free gift. More importantly than the hug and the kiss, that is. So fishing that Opsin fluoro or whatever fluoro you like, go for it. And choosing a good hot bait, changing that bait regularly is so very important. Down there in Ensenada, same kind of a thing. Our friend Louis Prieto from It's For Real Sport Fishing. He had some bluefin tuna yesterday. There's some small fish running around, and there's some bigger fish. Seems like that big fish is up there towards San Clemente Island right now, and the smaller fish is south of the border. But in all those bites, you have the opportunity, the chance of hooking a really big fish. So you need to bring heavy tackle and some light stuff. I like 25 pound fluoro on the grade of tuna that we're seeing. I think you get bit more. It gives you plenty of pulling power. Some guys will recommend fishing 30 and 40 pound. I'll leave that up to you, and I defer, as always, to the great crews on the boats down there in San Diego or here in the LA Orange County area. The Freedom had to go around on some big bluefin tuna after we said goodbye to him after the Danny Cadota show. He went 4 for 10, and he has got one bluefin on there that's 150 pounds. I'll kind of jump ahead here just for a moment and tell you that the Freedom after that went to San Clemente Island, and he's on the double digits on the yellows over there already. And the other day they had 109 yellowtail on board the Freedom. There is some tremendous fishing going on right now. It's really great. That fly line that we talked about for the bluefin tuna, same thing for those fish at SCI. Sometimes it fires up where they're going to bite the 40 pound. Other times you got to drop down to 20, 25 pound. Choosing a good hot bait works great. And the surface iron has also been very effective at San Clemente Island. The Thunderbirds had great fishing there. They're on those fish. We see the Freedom on those fish. The Amigo is there now. Talked to Chef Jason. He said they're hanging yellows as we speak. So already here on Friday, we're off to a nice start at San Clemente Island. Back down south, I want to just mention that the Coronado Islands have yellowtail there, along with good barracuda and bonita, calico bass, a variety of fish. A lot of guys are not fishing the islands now, but private boaters have been reporting into me, and they've had some really good yellow action over there. Surface iron, same thing, fly line bait. It's summertime. Fish are becoming more active. They're feeding on the surface more. They're still, however, catching some dropper loop fish down on the bottom with a 6-ounce torpedo and a nice good hot bait. Sardine, even a mackerel will work really well. And a few yo-yo ironfish. That's when you're sinking your jig really deep, winding on it fast. There's been some of that going on at the Coronado Islands also. So really some great fishing. Already reports coming into San Diego this morning. Polaris Supreme, he is on the second of a 5-day trip. He's up there around 70 bluefin tuna, 20 to 100-pound fish. The Tribute has radioed in already this morning. He's got 11 bluefin tuna and 5 yellowfin tuna. I ask you, what in the heck is wrong with that kind of fishing? The Legend on a 2.5-day trip returned with 64 bluefin, 18 yellowfin. Ocean Odyssey, limits of bluefin tuna. Pacific Queen, 2-day, 65 bluefin tuna. You get the picture. It's pretty darn good fishing right now. And some of that big, great stuff that is biting at night that you already saw at the beginning of today's report. Absolutely amazing stuff. How can you beat that? Ventura Sport Fishing is a great place to take kids fishing. Sunday, you can go for free if you're 12 and under with a paid adult. And that's up there on the California 805-676-3474. All right, back to the action we go. And man, along the coast, we continue to see better calico bass fishing, better sand bass fishing, and the barracuda bite. Really tremendous here for LA Orange County based boats. It's been awesome, especially up here closer to Long Beach. The Victory yesterday had a great day. Another one, 300 plus on the barracuda. It's been better in the afternoons, but that's subject to change. You never know what these fish are going to do. But man, I don't fish barracuda any other way than with the iron. I love it. You can get bit on a fly line bait, but man, the iron is such an efficient, fun way to get bit. And it's also, if you're kind of coming into the sport and you're starting to learn, it's great practice for catching yellowtail or any other number of fish that bite the surface iron. You make as long a cast as you can, and then usually a medium retrieve works really well. And you set the hook. You get a bite, you just grind down. Grind, 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 faster, harder, until you got that fish hook. That's the way to do it. I love a Tatty C with a single hook. Makes releasing those fish so much easier. Also Tatty 45s, but I know you may have your favorite jig, and feel free to go for it. You know, even like Colt Snipers or Daiwa Sakanas, those work really well. Smaller, shinier jigs can be really deadly on the gar. So really good barracuda fishing. Monte Carlo with 50 yesterday afternoon on the barracuda. Several other boats getting in on it. Private boaters also on the Victory, and other boats are catching calico bass and sand bass. It's like summertime, back about 30 years right now. So that is really great news. I am so happy to see that barracuda. We see some of that also up there in the Channel Islands. We need that in the Santa Monica Bay is where we need it. And that's got to happen like anytime soon. Maybe I even missed it here today because, you know, up in the Bay where I grew up and worked on the Redondo Special and several of the boats there, we had tremendous barracuda fishing in the Santa Monica Bay. They're catching good bass up that way. Nick Ramirez loves to fish up there on the Spitfire. A few halibut, great rockfish up in the Channel Islands. I mentioned they have some barracuda, halibut, occasional white sea bass. Nothing wrong with that. The Endeavor, however, he was on a 2-day trip, I believe it was. Their biggest bluefin, you heard me right, bluefin tuna, $1.83, 183 pounder. They had several bluefin tuna, and then of course copious amounts of viejas. Those are sheep's head and rockfish and other colorful great eating fish. Really great trip on board the Endeavor out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing. Nothing wrong with that. Catalina Island, I know I'm all over the place, right, this morning? It's that lack of coffee. That's what's doing it to me. Catalina Island, few yellows there. Some, you know, decent calico bass fishing. Weekends get tough, get too much boat pressure. Barracuda, bonita, kind of just a smorgasbord of fish like that. But you're really, well, I don't want to say likely, but it's definitely very possible to run in bluefin to the bluefin tuna when you're going to Catalina Island. Ask the guys on the Gale Force, had 183 pound bluefin. The Pursuit got on some bluefin the other day. So guys that are going to Catalina Island, even the full day trips that leave in the morning, come back in the evening, they can catch some of that bluefin tuna. If you have that heavy gear, bring it along with you. I forgot to mention full day boats out of San Diego. Man, I better have my coffee and not do a 4-hour show with Danny Cadota the night before. Down there on the San Diego, they are still catching bluefin tuna. They had 12 bluefin, 7 yellowfin, and a yellowtail. A little bit hit and miss for them yesterday, but I'm telling you, those guys, the Mission Bell, the San Diego, the Liberty, all those guys, Sea-Watch, some of those guys had tremendous fishing. It's definitely available for you. You can get that stuff, Sea-Watch, with a great day. So remember, bring that variety of tackle. In most cases, on those trips, you're catching that, I want to say 12 to 20 pound bluefin tuna, 25 pound, 40 pound, like that. So you can catch those on 25 pound and you're going to get a bite. But if you have a 2-speed reel with 100 pound, bring it. You just never know what's going to happen. All right, my friends, a great morning. I know you think I'm crazy. Foggy, you're thinking, you know, it's not that great. It is that great. It's awesome, beautiful, and fishing can't get much better, as you saw by the lead-in. Of course, we'll be watching it all day long for you here again on the morning briefing and other shows that we'll be putting out. As always, it's such a pleasure to be with you all. And don't forget, Pat Whitaker, East End of Cat with your bait. We'll be watching the bites up and down the coast. Hope you get out, catch some barracuda or a bluefin tuna. Looking good on that BFT for the weekend. And high hopes that we'll see that yellowfin start to flood in here really, really soon, along with that albacore. Yes, I couldn't go a report without mentioning it. Have a great day. I don't have my coffee to toast you, but I hope to see you really, really soon, my friends.